Hey guys, today we have a couple of geometry questions that I wanted to go over with you guys that a student brought to me today. This first one says, what value of y will make AB perpendicular to CD? Now the first thing that we got to know is what is perpendicular, right? Perpendicular is basically when two lines intersect making somewhat of a cross, right? In other words, a 90-degree angle. Obviously, if we're talking about this algebraically, it's when the slopes are opposite reciprocals, but when we're thinking about it geometrically, all I'm thinking about is a 90-degree angle. So what does that mean? What value of y will make AB perpendicular to CD? Well, if that was the case, then this angle GC, and I didn't put a point here, but let's just say GEC and GAE would have to be complementary. In other words, these two angles right here have to add up to 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply that to solve this equation. 5y minus 6 plus 2y plus 5 equals 90 degrees. From here, what I'm going to do is solve. So 5y is 2y, that's 7y. Negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. Again, equals 90. Inverse operations, opposite of subtraction is addition. I'm going to add 1. I'm going to add 1. I get 7y is equal to 91. I'm going to divide both sides by 7. 7 goes into 9 one time with 2 remaining. 7 goes into 21 3 times. So the final answer is 13. All right. Now, second question here. In the figure, ray CD and ray CB are opposite rays. So in other words, it's a straight line. And ray CA, this one right here, bisects angle BCE. So what does bisects mean? Well, let's break down the word, right? Take you to a little bit of an English class here. The prefix bi means two, right? For example, like a bicycle, okay? In other words, it has two wheels, or bifocals, two lenses, right? That's the idea. Bi means two. So when it says bisects, well, intersect means cut, like go through. So it means it's going through this angle and cutting it in half, right? So in other words, angle ACB and angle ACE must be equal to each other, right? When it comes to geometry, it's a little bit different than algebra. Algebra is very step oriented, right? We're solving equations, we're identifying what equation to use, we're plugging it in, and we're solving. Geometry is more intuition and logic. We have to identify what is it asking of us and how we can use what we know in order to solve the equation. Well, we know that bisecting means cutting in half, which means that angles, this angle is equal to this angle, and then I can use that to solve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these equal to each other. 12x plus 8 equals 14x minus 2. And I'm just going to solve for x. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add the 2 to both sides. Right? I want to keep it positive. That's going to give me 12x plus 10 equals 14x. Now I'm going to subtract 12x from both sides. I'm going to get 10 is equal to 2x. And then divide both sides by 2, and x equals 5. Now in this case, it's not my final answer. The reason why it's not my final answer is because it's not asking actually for the x value. It's asking for the angle ECA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug 5 back into this equation, right? So now I have 14 times 5 minus 2. Again, I chose this equation because it's angle ECA. So ECA, the way that you read angles is the middle one is always going to be the vertex of the angle. So in this case, ECA happens like that. Okay, now 14 times 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 10 times 5 is 50. 20 plus 50 is 70. Minus 2, this is 68. So in other words, the answer is 68 degrees. And that's it for today's... And that's it for today, guys. If you guys have any questions ever, feel free to go to the website. And that's it for today, guys. If you ever have any questions that you want videos made on yourself, stay tuned for the rest of the video here where I explain it at the end. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace out. If you guys ever want more help with your math, feel free to join mindleaptutor.com. At this page, we do have one-on-one tutoring sessions. You can click here and view the plans. If you just want a video taken for a question that you have, feel free to go to the math resources page, video archive, scroll down to the bottom here, click submit a question, and I'll have those questions for you as soon as the end of the day. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. Peace out.